So, the Q&A for the Anvil Valkyrie has been released. Let's go over the details. The first question asked was, since the Valkyrie can't store cargo, how are players able to transport small supplies like ammo and food, etc. to the front lines? So, CIG basically said, the Valkyrie's role is to transport troops and insert them into hostile environments, and conversely, extract them from combat zones to bring them back to base. The Valkyrie is not a resupply ship, it's a first and foremost dropship. Now, I personally stand with CIG on this one. It's a job specific ship. It was built to do one thing and one thing only. So it doesn't make sense for a ship like this to have the cargo capacity of a Cutlass Black, for example. However, I do still believe it should have the ability to carry some cargo though, anywhere between say 6 to 10 units for example. And here's why. This is an independent ship. It has 4 medium fuel tanks and a medium quantum system, along with accommodation for a crew of 5. So that tells me right there that this ship is designed to travel far and have a crew stay on board for a potentially prolonged period of time. Whether they be staying overnight on the fringes of the war zone waiting to pick back up the troops they dropped off the day before, or just simply travelling from one job to the next, it doesn't matter. The very fact that this ship has the facilities for the crew to remain on board outside of it performing its role signifies to me it should hold a small amount of cargo for its own sustainability, in the form of food for the crew, ammo crates, spare ship components, etc. Next, the community asked for examples of how the dropship gameplay would work, especially for players in smaller groups, in which CIG replied, typical gameplay missions for solo or low player counts would be hiring NPCs for combat missions and transporting them to and from the desired location. Or, quite simply, retrieving groups of players from their own missions which may not have gone to plan and are in need of assistance. The next question was in regards to the modularity of the ship, specifically if it would be able to swap out the deployment seats for something else. CIG stated that this would not be the case and there are no plans to make this ship modular. It was confirmed that the Valkyrie does have weapon racks for each deployment seat, and they will hold up to a size 4 weapon, such as the Arrowhead sniper rifle, for example. It was also confirmed that the Valkyrie does not fit inside a Polaris, Idris, nor a Javelin. The community then went on to ask CIG how it was possible for the ship to safely hold a vehicle, but not cargo. And this is what CIG had to say, and I quote, "From the very initial design, we wanted the area at the back to be purely for vehicles and not to be used for storing commercial cargo. We're still finalising the in-fiction reasons for the differences between securing cargo versus vehicles." End quote. So basically, CIG are saying, we can't give you a proper reason for not being able to carry cargo, aside from the fact we just don't want you to. Again, like I said previously, I have no issue with this. I'm sure they will come up with a good reason, lore-wise, as to why this isn't possible for this ship. But having zero capacity for cargo storage somewhere else doesn't make sense, and it isn't something that can be explained away. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. It was revealed that CIG are reviewing the door guns and deciding whether or not they want to increase their firing arc slightly. The reason they were put so tightly to the side in the first place was it allowed ease of access for the troops when getting on or off whilst the guns were out. And due to the fact the wider firing arc was meant to be covered by the remote turrets anyway. It was also confirmed that even though the Valkyrie is only built for carrying one vehicle, and only one vehicle could be pre-spawned in along with the Valkyrie, fitting additional vehicles in afterwards, such as 2 Dragonflies for example, would be possible, and they would remain in the ship with full persistence. Also, we learned the crew deck will not be sealed off from the cargo bay, as the Valkyrie was built to operate within breathable atmospheres, meaning you will have to take the proper precautions when opening the main cargo door or its side doors, as it will vent most of the ship in a vacuum. Dropships in real life have good visibility below the pilots, and people wanted to know how the Valkyrie would compare. They went on to say that the Valkyrie does have a window beneath the pilot seat to help judge the terrain, but they will also be looking into more MFD functionality to help out with manoeuvres, such as landing etc. in the future. And lastly, the community wanted to know if the Valkyrie would be getting a medical module to allow it to perform search and rescue operations. Obviously the answer to this was a no. However, they did go on to say that if they were to consider the possibility in the future, it would come in the form of a medical variant. And that was it for the Valkyrie Q&A. Were you happy with the answers from CIG? Is there anything else that you would like to see change regarding this ship? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay true.